Hey ladies and gentlemen, Simon here, bringing you another episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars, the final season. Once this episode is finished, that will mark the halfway point towards the end of this season and ultimately the end of the Clone Wars, which is going to be a difficult thing to do. Thankfully, here in the UK, we now have access to Disney+. However, not everything is as caught up as you would hope. The Mandalorian, they're only on Chapter 3. The Clone Wars, they're only up to, I believe they're releasing episode 5 today, so they're a week behind on the Clone Wars, the final season, and then well behind on the Mandalorian. So having access to it hasn't really changed too much for me personally. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be sad once this show ends, and I know that some people had some complaints about last week's episode not being the most exciting and being a little bit slow, but I personally enjoyed it. I again, getting to see Ahsoka on screen and just seeing her post, being in the Jedi, I feel like it's never going to be wasted. And yeah, the episode was kind of light, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the new characters. Trace seems like an interesting one. There's obviously going to be a bit of a power struggle between Ahsoka and Trace's sister over, who's going to influence her more. Kind of in a way, it's like the light side and the dark side pulling to a person, and they've got, ties to both, and it's going to be an interesting set of episodes to see how that goes. It's also great to see, some of the underworld of Coruscant. Level 1313 was mentioned in the last episode, which was the game that had ultimately been cancelled, because of, Disney taking over Star Wars back in 2012, I think it was. So they scrapped the game and started on some of their newer projects like Battlefront. It's a shame we didn't get that, but we're getting a little bit of look into, life under the surface on Coruscant, and I'm kind of enjoying it. Overall, I mean, this season has been pretty decent. The one thing that struck me about last week's episode was the sheer amazing visuals. The episode looked amazing. The way that they've slowly blended the old animation with newer technology gives it a really unique feel, and I would love to see future animated shows have a similar style. I know that I like to take different animated shows in different styles, as we've seen with Resistance, Clone Wars, and Rebels, but I would like to see this style of animation given a shot in another show, which apparently, rumor has it that there's going to be a Rebels sequel focusing on Sabine and Ahsoka, so that would be brilliant if we could get that. But yeah, I'm assuming we're going to carry on with this arc, seeing what Ahsoka's going to get up to in the underworld, seeing how she copes with not being in the Jedi and, obviously being separated from Anakin, and, really getting to see her first steps as an independent woman. I think, for the people who were disappointed last week, I think there's going to be better stuff to come. So, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into the episode, I do want to say I have an Instagram account. I've been using it over the last few days just to post some old pictures. I'm going to be posting some newer stuff on there very shortly. So I'll leave it in the comments and in the description if you want to go follow me over there. I can't promise anything too exciting, but, you can see some of the places I've visited, some of my younger pictures. It's all going to be up there. So go and check that out. And then finally, before we do jump into the episode, I do want to say a big thank you to my Patreon super supporters, especially in this time of crisis, I guess, because it's not easy for everyone right now, and if you are struggling, I hope things get better for you. But I want to say a big thank you to Frank Tremel, TheLoneDetective, Karen Abel, Rakoon Shampoo, Flawed Otaku, Ace, Nick Walters, The 7 Deadly Sins, and Damon Smallwood. So, without further ado, let's jump in and let's see what happens next.
That must have been some academy you went to topside.
Yeah, the best.
It was the best.
Skywalker Academy.
Skywalker.
Come on, Anakin's one of the most well-known generals.
What do I know living down here?
I guess
Never
down
really
there.
heard of any academy. Oh, impressive is coming up. Once the Silver Angel revs up its hyperdrive.
The Silver Angel. What a name.
Silver Angel?
Yeah, why?
I like it.
I don't know. I just never heard a name like that before.
Wait, you're saying
Yeah,
it's a
they
bad name?
don't intend to name
Hey,
their ships,
it's
do they?
your
Really?
ship. You call it what you want.
No, like pet
Why
names
don't you
anyway.
name my bike while you're at it?
I did. Trash. Its name is Trash.
I mean the Jedi, that
Very
is, not
funny.
the. Not people. People do because we
Once
got the
you're
Millennium
done,
Falcon.
Where are you headed? What if you didn't crash on my landing platform?
Mm-hmm.
Things could have gotten messy for you.
Believe me.
You could say that the Force
things
had
will
its
be a
hand in
bigger
that.
mess for me than they already are.
So you'll stay a little while longer at least. That way we can test the Silver Angel.
Where else have you got to go, Ahsoka?
As long as Rafa doesn't mind.
What's up?
Look, I wouldn't ask you to do this, but I'm in a tough spot.
Uh-oh.
I hired a starship and crew for a
That
job.
coat looks gorgeous.
You were gonna leave me here?
No.
You mean you need the best pilot around and the fastest ship you know?
Yes, to both of those.
So they need the Silver Angel.
You do, Rafa.
That's right. Remember, we can't count on anyone.
Yeah,
So we
this
can
is the
outdo
conflict.
ourselves. And maybe Ahsoka.
Maybe.
Come on, I want to get going.
So tell me, what are you after? Her mech bay? Her ship?
I don't have an angle. Unless maybe to keep you both out of trouble.
Yeah.
You ever thought you might be the trouble she needs to stay away from?
Oh, 100%. Without doubt, but... It's got a little bit of a ghost look to the engines, you know? Similar kind of design. And up they go. I really miss seeing
I'm
Coruscant.
just trying to get into this lane. We have to answer that.
No, we don't.
Trace, just get us out of here.
Don't do anything
Why
that
is she...
suspicious.
Why is she heading towards Aveneta?
Suspicious. That's a laugh.
Who is this? What's your license number?
Just get in the transport lane and fly.
Yeah. Don't make them send... Yeah, it's Kel Yularen. Or Admiral Yularen.
Aboard that transport.
I love the mirroring of this with Return of the Jedi. With the shuttle. No. He's
Should
gonna...
I send a detachment, General?
He's gonna say no.
No, it's nothing.
I love how that rhymes with Return of the Jedi.
You still haven't told
And he
us
knows
where we're
Ahsoka was
going.
on there. How hyperdrive works. Oh, don't tell me, is that the is that Kessel?
Kessel. You're taking us to Kessel?
They're going to Kessel?
Taking us to fortune and glory.
I've heard pilots talk about this place. It's legendary.
Yeah.
Oh
it's
shit.
legendary
This isn't a time
attraction.
for a first time pilot.
What are we doing here?
That's a beautiful looking planet considering it's in Kessel.
This place is beautiful.
Yeah.
See, Ahsoka? There's nothing to worry about.
King Yoruba's major domo. We've
King
been expecting
Yoruba.
you. We've prepared a banquet to show his thanks for your services.
Lead the way, sir.
What services?
Time.
What's she gotten them into?
You will deliver 3 containers of unrefined spice.
Oh shit,
On
they're spice
satisfactory
runners.
delivery, you will be awarded a full shipment and a contract to transport for us on a continuous
It's that kind of medicine.
You may as well get that contract ready.
It's always been a promoter of health and happiness across the stars.
I'm sure they have.
Now come, Ms. Martez. Let us get the spice into this very fast ship.
Okay, now I'm starting to see Trace for who she really is. A wide-eyed, young, naive kid. Well, I'm sure this won't go horribly wrong.
Look at all those droids.
Droid revolution.
The King's spy seals must buy thousands of them.
Trace.
I don't think they're
Those are
droids.
not droids.
They're slaves.
People.
Yeah. Oh, we've seen this before.
Must be local workers.
I think the term is slave.
Yeah, local
An
workers.
operation this large, the Republic wouldn't stand for it. They'd shut the place down.
Now we're starting to learn about how the Republic is
I think they would.
not perfect. I like that we're getting this outside view. And Ahsoka's starting to realise.
How does she know so much? How do you know so much?
I pay attention to the world around me. Like the fact that the Pikes are gangsters.
Gangsters? What, like Pintu back on Coruscant?
Oh no.
Much worse.
She doesn't know anything, does she?
Worse. They'll take your ship, your life, everything. Think of all the good you could do if we deliver the spice to someplace else instead of the Pikes.
Think of all the good you can do by helping us finish this job.
I said no one is taking
Uh-oh.
my ship.
Uh-oh, what's she doing? Oh, okay.
What was that?
That was the spice.
Oh no.
What did you do?
I dumped the spice.
You did what?
That's just made things 10 times worse. Nope.
Neither one of you gets your way, and I keep my ship. You're welcome.
And now you owe 3
Choices
crates
to
of
make, that is
spice.
literally the worst one.
Well then, sounds like my plan is the best one we got.
That's not.
I got the feeling that we're going to need to
whether or
use
not-
aggressive negotiations
Don't
here.
worry, I've got a trick or two that you don't know about.
Care to share?
No,
Hmm.
not yet at least.
Oh.
You want to pay us our credits and send us on our way.
Here are your credits. Now go on your way.
See, from the perspective of someone who doesn't know that she's a Jedi, it looked like a bad plan.
I take it back. I'm liking this plan.
Yeah, don't be so bold about it.
This is highly irregular.
Let's get out of here, Trace.
So, uh-oh. You might want to run.
Where is the spice?
What?
You might want to run.
Castle must have double-crossed you.
Patrol ships.
They won't be able to keep up.
You keep saying that. They've got a tractor beam.
That is a tractor beam, Rafa.
Okay, so, things took a turn there, you know? And one thing I really like about this arc, what it appears to be doing, is to give us kind of a bigger perspective of Ahsoka's perceptions outside of the Jedi Order. She learns the Jedi aren't so perfect, that they are arrogant, and now she's learning that the Republic is not quite the almighty and moral organization that a lot of people tend to think it is. You know, slaves exist, slavery is a thing. You know, and they don't have the ability to, or at least they don't stamp down on the gangs. You know, drug running is a thing. You know, and that's one thing I kind of like, is that Ahsoka's slowly learning all of these lessons. That's kind of, it must almost feel vindicating for her that she left the Jedi Order, you know, because the Jedi are living in this bubble. And, you know, we've seen here that people live any way they can. People struggle to live. And outside of the surface of Coruscant and the Republic Navy, the galaxy is a tough place, you know, and the Republic is not this this brilliant thing that I guess is made out to be, you know. Just as the Jedi are flawed and arrogant, the Republic is flawed and powerless in a way. You know, they bow down to the demands of, or at least they fail to enforce the law with a lot of these crime syndicates. And that's why Kessel is a big place for, you know, spice running, and that's why the Pikes are allowed to, you know, run roughshod over, you know, the crime syndicates. You know, you've got, I don't know if the Black Sun is still canon in this. I think it might be. But then obviously you've got Crimson Dawn as well, which is another crime syndicate, which, you know, we see in Solo. And another thing I liked here is the fact we did see Kessel, and it's kind of again linking up those to stories in the way that, you know, you see the Kessel, even before the Empire came in, was still a place where slavery was existent and, you know, spice was mined and, you know, the environment was taking a lot of damage over, you know, because of people wanting to be wealthy. Another little great moment was on the bridge of the Star Destroyer with Anakin, you know, reflecting the same scene in Return of the Jedi when the rebels are in the Tidarium shuttle heading to Endor, and he can sense Luke is on board, and so he tells you know, the Admiral to Admiral Piet to let them go, and in this he tells Admiral Yularen to let them go because he can sense Ahsoka. You know, I really like that little link up. Ahsoka's learning. I mean, one thing I really wasn't expecting is to see just how Trace is so naive to the world. Like, you know, I expected the sister to be underhanded and into all kinds of dodgy stuff, but I wasn't expecting Trace to be someone who was naive to the point where she doesn't know anything, really. She's never been in hyperspace before. You know, I wouldn't want to be trusting a pilot who's never even gone to hyperspace before. I know they're in a kind of dire straits, but, you know, I think Trace's naivety is gonna... I think her naivety is a good thing for Ahsoka because it allows Ahsoka to reflect. But there is going to be that battle there between the loyalty to the family and the loyalty to Ahsoka. And eventually, I think, you know, one of them is going to win out. And whether the sister learns fully that... I think it's Rafa, whether she learns... you know, that her ways are only going to get them in trouble, I'm not sure. But we're only a small... I mean, I guess next episode is where Ahsoka's going to reveal herself to be a Jedi. She's going to help break them out, and there's going to be this, you know, like, cool action scene to show us, you know, them escaping. The only thing I was a little confused about was the Pike Syndicate were going to pay them. But, I mean, if they were going to pay them... I mean, if they didn't deliver the spice, then they haven't lost anything. I guess the people delivering the spice have lost something. The people who gave the spice for delivery gave up something. But I don't know. I was just a little bit confused about that. But it's a minor niggle. So yeah, I like the focus on the characters in this episode and the focus on the moral depravity that is abound in the galaxy. You know, and it's kind of like, you know, the Clone Wars focuses a lot on the conflict between, you know, the Republic and the Separatists, and every so often we get to see the personal side of it, whether it's through soldier stories, through Jedi stories, through how the war has affected, you know, certain populations and civilians. And we're now getting a little bit of a look into, you know, how everyday citizens who aren't involved in the war, you know, are affected by everything that's going on. You know, Coruscant is a safe place. Coruscant, until Revenge of the Sith, Coruscant doesn't get touched. You know, so the people on that planet live in a bubble. And, you know, that's exactly what it is. This episode was breaking that bubble for both the sisters and Ahsoka. And I thought it was really well done. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where the rest of the arc goes. And, damn, moving on to the second half of this season already. Feels weird. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you for the next one.